Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. Haven't got it. He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the JPB Presents Season 5 of the Clio Cup Round 3, live from Summit Point. I'm Jace Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Nathan Richards, who's back with us again this week as we tackle this 3.20 kilometre circuit here. Not very large, not very big. Should bring some great racing taking place in the scores at the moment in the rookies after what has been 2 rounds. Ludovic Jure is out in front on 233 with Dylan DaCosta on 231 and David Clasper on 215. Then we've got Kian Palmer, Chris Barnes and Rob Williams rounding out the top 6. In the team standings, virtual drivers by TX3 are out in front at the moment with 357 over Team Radline. Sim Stickers in 3rd, Play Designs in 4th, JPB Sports in 5th, Kraken Racing 6th, Goldwing Motorsports in 7th, and then we got SRL and Photomedia.com. In the overalls, it's Sam Van Olst topping the overalls at the moment by 7 points over Dylan DaCosta with Ludovic Jure in 3rd, John McCutcheon 4th, Wayne Palmer 5th, David Clasper 6th. Then you got Kian Palmer, Stuart Gibbons, Maxwell, Deck Craver, Paul Godden, Chris Barnes, Rob Williams, Dan Lewis, Carl Jacklett and Edward Parfitt at the bottom. Let's bring Mr. Richards into the booth. Good evening, Nathan. How are you, sir?
I am doing very well, thank you, James. And hello, everyone in the chat, as usual. Brilliant to be back. Obviously, I missed last week, but back again now for some more of the Clio action. Of course, we've got 3 of the 20-minute races following our qualifying. Yet again, James, it's such a brilliant format, isn't it, having so many different people in for a chance to win a race.
Yeah, absolutely. The reverse grids, reverse top 10 for race 2, full reverse for race number 3. So the guys in last in race number 2 will be on pole for race number 3. We're just about to head into qualifying before we get up and running for the first race of this evening. If you are here, don't forget you can say hi. Let us know that you're here and we will have a chat with you and respond back to you. Summit Point itself, not very long, Mr. Richards. There's not many corners at Summit Point. Surely it's easy, right?
Well, I've driven this track yet again. It's one of the 3 tracks, so I've given it a go before, and it's, the lap times are just under 1 minute 20 seconds. But the track itself is very low grip. It's easy to, it's easy to go straight at the corner if you don't brake in time, and also easy to lose the car on an exit in some occasions. It is a really low grip circuit, so that is something I think the drivers have to tackle here. And as we said before, it's a short circuit, which means overtaking, it's possible, but you've only got limited corners to make moves.
Yeah, exactly. It's just around about 2 mile long for all of us in the UK who understand miles here, and literally it's basically about 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 tons. That's about all they've got to contend with here this evening. I've just started out in qualifying. Luke Maxwell is out on the out lap as well, so they should get a nice little few laps in. They start coming round now. 10 minutes of open qualifying, guys. You see them all out on the circuit together. They will be battling away for the front row to see who can do what, get into that pole position. What do we think is going to happen here, in all honesty? Because there's certain parts of this circuit you worry could cause a problem, and there's certain parts you think, well, it shouldn't, but it can. That's the problem.
Yeah, you've got, the slow corners heading down towards like the chute and the carousel, which will cause issues because it's a very tight part of the circuit. The cars are going very quick in towards those braking zones. So I think we'll expect to see a bit of chaos there. And also, drivers might brake a little bit too late. And when they're all flying in together, 14 of them, someone's going to get caught up somewhere and go straight onto that grass. And we all know that the grass on this game is absolutely horrible to drive. And if you go into it, you're going to have a hard job of getting yourself back onto the road without having any issues. So I think that is one of the corners that especially at the start of these races, the drivers will be looking to try and be a little bit more cautious through. But in qualifying, they've got 10 minutes. They might as well go all for it because the lap times are short. So they haven't got to worry about how long it'll take to get around the track because they can just whiz round and probably do about 5 laps at this point if they make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing. Luke Maxwell's got a purple on the board at the moment as he's going up through into that famous carousel section, that long looping right-hander, and then he's going to come off through the S's. It'll be one go left, then it'll be a right, and then it'll be a run down into Paddock, the final corner here at Summit Point. You see 122.722 by Sam Van Olst at the moment. I don't think that's going to stay there, to be honest with you, the way that Luke Maxwell's going with his purples on the board. Yeah,
he's looking so good, isn't he, so far, Luke Maxwell, as he heads his way through in towards the final couple of corners out Paddock Bend up towards the line. It's a decent run to the start finish straight here on this circuit, and we'll see what Luke Maxwell can do. And it will be a 21.2 on the board there. No, sorry, 19.9 on the board there for Luke Maxwell. Brilliant lap to kind of kick off the session. And now this is where we'll probably see the times in around those mid to high 19s.
I think that's where we're expecting it. I think 119.5 maybe at a push here as well. I know Edward was a little bit worried. He was getting it down to 122s or something, and then it was like, Dad, I can't find any more. I was like, son, I'm not driving. Crack on. Get on with it. So I think, it's going to be tough for some. It's going to be interesting, I think, here as well, the way it's going to work. I think these guys are going to have to really sort of put the effort in, get to the front, and try their hardest.
Of course, and you can see here as well, a couple of cars are getting caught up in a bit of traffic and near enough racing in this qualifying session, which is definitely not an ideal scenario, as we can see a few cars coming through. I think this is Derek Crowther we're on board with at the moment.
Lewis.
And Dan Lewis as well. And these two, the last thing you want to do is come to contact as well in qualifying, because at the moment the car behind is looking to try and push a little bit hard here.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure why that is, Chris. I'm just reading that message at the moment. Give me 2 seconds. I know my mic's been giving me a little bit of grief this week. So has OBS in general. Let me know if that's better. I have just whacked myself up and added a big old lump of gain to it. I know OBS was playing up basically all weekend, and it doesn't seem to have settled down at all here at the moment. But Dylan DaCosta in that second place with Dec Crowther up there in third at the moment. Sam Van Olst in fourth. Edwards managed to get down below his 121. He's on a 120. So fair play to him. David Clasper down on a 123. Ewan Stitch come in just to give the old league a try to see. He's on a 124 at the moment. Ludovic Jure, bit unexpected to be at the back of the field.
Yeah, definitely. You'd expect to see him up in in around that top 5, even higher. As he's third in the championship overall. He's doing a very good job this season. Only 16 points separates him and Sam Van Alstar, championship leader. And well, at the moment, Sam's about 9 positions ahead of him. So that is not an ideal scenario at all. As we can see, these are the two teammates, aren't they? Dylan and Ludovic heading down towards turn number 1 once more, and obviously a nice slipstream here will give you a decent toe, and that will be a 120.4 for Ludovic Jureno, who heads himself up into second. And I believe as well Dylan did find a little bit of time to just become right behind his teammate there, about 30,000 separating those two in second and third. And Maxwell, yet again, James, just clear of the field. Nothing at this point can stop him, can it?
He's half a second clear of Ludovic Jure. I think Ludovic benefited from a big old dump of toe there from Dylan Da Costa, because he all of a sudden pulled that one out of the bag. Crowther goes down into fourth. Ian Palmer in the middle there, and currently on his way up through Wagon, that left-hander. This is going to be the corner, if they try and go too wide, could cause a big old dose of problems.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the most ideal corner to go side by side with, especially with that gravel on the right. You get chucked onto that gravel, it's going to be a hard time saving that car. As we can see here, Kean Palmer heading down in towards a bit of a hairpin corner at the left, and then you'll get back on the power as you head through in towards the carousel and the S's. It's a very difficult part of the circuit. This is, you've got to be very careful with how you take your lines, and it's you can get a lot of time by taking a line which sometimes you think, oh, that wouldn't work, but no, it does. As we can see now, head through in towards the penultimate couple of corners and then down into Paddock Bend. And so far, with Edward and Kean sitting 6th and 8th, they're looking decent in terms of scoring points for the championship in the teams.
Yeah, they are at the moment. These young guns here, combined age less than my total age. So that's worrying.
Makes you feel old.
Oh, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Rob Williams is there in 12th at the moment. Ewan Stitchbury behind him in that one. Chris Barnes not set a time, but never again normally doesn't. He starts on the back and has a good old run through. Ludovic Jure and Dylan Da Costa drafting each other a little bit here. I think that they're making the most of being teammates.
Yeah, might be having a bit of race practice as well, because I think who's it behind? Is it Ludovic behind? He's looking to be quite at the back of his teammate, very close, and luckily no contact's been made between the two as they head their way through in towards the final part of this lap. And I've got to say, obviously, Derek Crowther in 4th position. Obviously, from what we saw back in round 1 and 2, he's doing a very good job to be up into that top 5, and now hopefully for some very nice points when we go through in towards those races. As we can see, these two head through the final corner. Luke Maxwell's got a purple sector somewhere. Let's see. I don't think he found an improvement. Did he? No. He was 4,000s off his best lap time. So very close and consistent, but not quite an improvement here. And still, obviously, second and third, the two teammates have got to find 0.4 of a second here to challenge Luke. That is quite a gap.
Yeah, it is at the moment. Who's got hold of the SRL TV? Is it Dan or John? No, the Clios. There's always something to watch. You don't just have to. There's always action all the way through, regardless of numbers that's on the side of the circuit. I can tell you that much. And I don't expect tonight to be any different. I still expect these guys to be having great little humdingers, as they're especially probably going to go take it too wide, down it up through Wagon, down into Shoot and into the thing. So it's always going to be the same here. There will be action all the way through. Luke has gone purple in sector 1, coming up through the S's. Second sector just before the last corner here. And we'll see what happens as Luke will register a time on the board. Is he going to go purple again? He's not, but what is the offset? That will be the question, as he's going to be coming over the line for his last one.
Yeah, looking good so far. Here is Luke, and we can see there the gaps, James, between 1st and 12th. Less than a second. There's only one car, not within a second of the quickest time, and it'll be Luke. I don't think he found an improvement. No, he didn't. He was a tenth down on his best lap time, and I don't think there was an improvement either by Da Costa either. We'll see. I don't think he did. No, he didn't find an improvement there on his lap, and I think that might kind of be it here for the drivers, because they've been out a long time on those tyres, so they will start to wear out a little bit and not be as optimal. As we can see, Daniel Lewis now head through in towards Paddock Bend, goes very wide and touches the gravel slightly. That will definitely not be a lap time that he can pop on the board. As we can see there, Edward Parfitt, they're also down on his lap time here, James. So I don't think anyone is really finding much of an improvement here as the checker flag goes out.
Yeah. And there you go. That would be the end of qualifying. Let's bring you up the grid for the first race of the evening. Luke Maxwell is in first with Ludovic Jure in second. Dylan Da Costa in third. Dak Crowther fourth. Sam Van Olst in fifth with David Clasper in sixth. Then you've got Stuart Gibbons and Dan Lewis. Edward Parfitt, Ewan Stitchbury. Keon Palmer, Wayne Palmer. Son and dad at the back end there. Son beat dad. Rob Williams and Chris Barnes in all of that one. Interesting, going to be very, very interested, I think, on this one. We'll see how this one pans out. These guys are getting onto the grid, ready to go for the opening race of the evening. And why are we on rolling start? That's an interesting development.
Well, it is, isn't it? It'll be an interesting one, won't it? That's a little bit different. I don't know if that's meant to be or if there's been a bit of a mistake somewhere.
It is not meant to be. I can guarantee you. It was definitely not meant to be. I think Mr. Admin may have set it up wrong. So, we'll reach out.
Nice for something different, I suppose.
Yeah, full lap though. That's going to be a long old lap here. I will go and discuss it here. There you go. Luke has gridded up and he's at the front. So,
yep.
Go. Very strange that we've
Should
got.
be underway shortly.
Should be, yes. You get hold of Mr. Williams, Mr. Evans. It was him who set the session up, so you can go and have a little chat to him. Find out why we've got a rolling start.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? But here we
Well,
are. Unless it's a glitch, I don't know.
No, we're going to find out. Let's see let's see who copes with the rolling start, I guess, on this one as well. What do you mean, boo? Who has got control of the SRL? I reckon that's got to be Dan Mould. Got to be Dan Mould who's got hold of the SRL account as well. So, yeah. See how these guys get on.
On the bright side, they can warm up the tyres, I suppose.
Yeah, it's something different, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cold tyres into turn one with 14 cars. It's not going to end well. So maybe it's a bit better that they're not going to go flying into turn one with 4 cold tyres that could at least warm them up a little bit more than they would anyway. But the key thing to notice here is what Jure and Da Costa do. The two teammates sit in second and third. Do you reckon they'll try and attack Maxwell, or do you think they'll try and defend from fourth and below? Because obviously you've got Van Olst behind, who's obviously first in the championship. So realistically, they want to be ahead of Van Olst, don't they?
Yeah, they will, and I'll be surprised if they don't sort of group up side by side, to be honest. If you put 2 cars side by side on this circuit, it's like a roadblock. Nobody's really going to get their way through. So, I think from that point of view, it's going to be very tough for some of them to get past if the guys from Virtual Drivers team up and block the road off.
Yep.
To be honest, the initial feeling is they've got to get that jump over Luke at the beginning. The problem is going to control the pace until the green flag. Obviously, we're making the best of a bad situation. Mr. Williams has just messaged me and went, different. Like, yeah, it's definitely that. Not right, but it's different. So there we go. Here's what it is. We'll cope with it for tonight here. It's not like they've got too long of a pace lap, so it should be fine.
No. Yeah, to be fair, I'm surprised this pace lap's gone on quite quickly. It's been quite a swift one, hasn't it, with that Porsche leading the way. And, well, it will be Luke Maxwell who leads the way first. And, yeah, Jure will be looking to get the jump start. If he can get ahead of Maxwell, then I think his next priority is probably to try and get Dylan through as well. So do a bit of defence work to get Dylan alongside and through on Maxwell. Then those two can lead the way and control the pace first and second. Because then, if they come under pressure from someone behind, all Dylan or Ludovic has to do is just move over and block the way.
I can tell you one thing, Ludovic's got to get up alongside because Luke's already gone and he has bolted. and he has gone already. And ladies and gentlemen, the opening race is up and running, and we are green, green, green. Ludovic Jure missed the start. There was nowhere near Luke Maxwell right at the beginning, and Luke's going to come down into turn one. He's going to take the lead. Dylan DaCosta is going to go through, or Ludovic Jure as well. Those guys have got to sort it out early. Who's going to get there early? Because at the end of the day, Dan Lewis is currently sat in the gravel trap, so that's not an ideal start from Dan. Was that just too late on the brakes, do we think? Ooh. 6 of one.
Contact there with.
Yeah, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there, I think, on that one. That might have been Edward who had that initial contact there, but Luke Maxwell takes the whole shot and is out in front, Nathan.
Yeah, he did a good job so far, isn't he, Maxwell at the front? And then we can see as well Van Olst on the back of DaCosta as well, trying to get his way through into third place. And obviously Jure is now going to try and control the pace from second below, because I think Maxwell's going to kind of check out here. He had a 4/10 gap in qualifying. He's already got nearly over a second on the first lap. I'm sure that the main thing now for Jure is to defend from those behind, because DaCosta's going to be looking to make moves. As we can see further back, the two teammates looking to come to blows there. Palmer and Parfitt in 9th and 10th, and actually Parfitt loses out to Wayne Palmer, who moves up to 10th position. So lots of scrapping there. As you can see, one of them going a little bit wide there, James.
Yeah, I think that may have been Edward. Edward in with the blue banner, I believe. He has got the blue banner. Kieran's got the yellow. So Edward still got in front of Wayne there. Ewan Stitchbury is in there as well as he's plodding along in that little purple machine. Gibbo's on the back of Clasper. Crowver's in there trying to get hold of a Nost. And these front 6 are all trying to get hold of Luke Maxwell. And at the moment, they're not quite getting there. He's pulling away. He's opening up the gap.
Yeah, indeed. But we can see here, DaCosta's taken second. So now Van Olst on the back of Jure looking to get himself into third. As I head down towards this bit of a hairpin corner at the left-hander, you can see, Jure not looking the best on pace at this current time. You can see there backing up. It looks like Van Olst behind, and also Derek Crowther in P5. Clasper as well. I remember back in round 1, he didn't get a break, did he? Didn't get a break. Did he have any car looking to battle with him? But so far, looking decent in P6.
There he is there. David Clasper trying to make his way and trying to go forward. He has had a couple of, well, I think the last time out Laguna Seca, he had really quite a rough night of racing there. And you can see Sam Van Nolst is just about to try and make that move past Ludovic Jure. Jure holding sort of wasn't the fastest, and I don't think his quali lap time was representative of where he actually was. I think he used Dylan DaCosta for a draft to get where he was, and unfortunately that's now put him in the mix where he's obviously not showing quite the pace he had in quali, and he's now going to be starting losing positions, because I think Van Olst on paper is quicker, and I think Crowther might be quicker at this circuit as well.
Oh, indeed, and a bit of contact nearly there as they head through Wagon, as they head now down in towards, this will be in towards the chutes and the carousel. We'll see, can any move be made by Jure? He's going to look for it, isn't he? To the outside. Can't find a way through. Clasper there, looking for a move on Crowther. A bit of a slide there. That could have been contact between Van Olst and Jure, who still go side by side. And now DaCosta's loving it, isn't he? Has broken them by 2 seconds. And they could just try and fly away. And if he can, catch up maybe to the back of Maxwell, as we can see. Crowther, Clasper, Gibbons now all getting involved in this battle. And actually, dragging Stitchbury and those behind along as well. Yeah,
Ewan Stitchbury just trying to get onto the back of this battle at the moment. Gibbo there is in the mix, currently sitting in 7th place. That's Clasper in front of us, who's at about as much as he can see at the moment of Deck Crowther. Crowther's trying to have a go at Ludovic Jure in front, and Jure's trying hard to keep on to the back of Sam Van Olst. That's the gap at the moment. I'm expecting Crowther to come flying through on the right-hand side. Is he going to be able to make that move? He's not. Jure and him about the same as on the brakes as they are there. Wayne Palmer and Edward Parfitt having a right little ding-dong down here. Wayne gets through, just kind of sends Edward a little bit wide. Now Kieran's going to get through as well. Williams is at the back there, unfortunately. It looks like Dylan DaCosta has just had a little bit of an off-track, but manages to keep it going. David Clasper is now in the mix with Crowther and Gibbo, as they're going to run too wide, down through the chute and into the hairpin.
Yep, very nice move. Nice defence there from Crowther indeed. And then you can see a bit of a tap nearly from Gibbons as they head there way through in towards the carousel now at the right hand, and you can see Clasper here keen to get that move and get himself ahead in towards P5 as Jure still on the back of Van Elst, and they're actually gaining in quite nicely to the rear of Da Costa now. So we'll see if maybe that battle for second could reopen in a few laps time. 15 minutes left to go here, about a quarter of the way gone in this race, and Luke Maxwell leads by 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, Maxwell running away. Don't forget top 10 reverse for race number 2. That place is occupied by Kian Palmer at the moment as the guys from JPB scrapping it out down in 10th and 11th. The young guns here, I'm sure they won't give up. I'm sure they will continue to fight. Sam Van Elst has got Ludovic Jure battling away nicely once more as these guys continually scrapping it out. Clasper and Gibbo were side by side as well. Gibbons looks like he's just let Clasper have that position, but Van Elst and Jure not giving up at the moment.
Yeah, still fighting hard here at this current point, and we'll see here what Jure can do. Maybe just holding back for now to then make for a bit of a charge later on in this race. And obviously, you know, they don't want to come to contact too early. If he makes a move, he needs to make it stick as they head in towards the hairpin. And you can see Jure there looking for a bit of a move, but backs off at the last second there and decided not to go ahead or to try and make a move ahead of Sam Van Elst, who obviously, remember, is our championship leader here. So a lot of pressure here on Van Elst. There's a bit of contact slightly as they head their way through into the S's now. And we'll see Jure, he's looking more than keen to make a move to get himself into P3 ahead of the Belgian. But the question is, when can he do it? Because so far, Van Elst is doing some very hefty defending here.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anywhere that Van Elst will let Jure go. I think that's the problem. And I don't think he's really got to kind of upset him, should we say. He's got to try and move him where he wants him and sort of muscle him into a position where he might make a mistake or he might be able to get through. But I think that's not as easy as it normally would be, especially as the fact it's Sam Van Elst in there in front.
Of course, so we can see yet again them still trying to battle further back. We could see, I think it was Kian Palmer there losing a bit of time to the back of Wayne Palmer. So I'm not sure if those two came close to contact somewhere on that final corner. And actually, Van Elst makes a mistake, doesn't he? Goes wide as well into the gravel now. Jure to the outside. That'll give him, of course, the inside here at the right hand, and then, of course, the outside at the hairpin. Bit of contact nearly around there for Jure. Luckily, can catch the car. They go side by side, and Jure's gone really deep. And as I said before, that is the last place you want to break and end up on the gravel and the grass.
Yeah, Craver, that was it for Ludovic Jure. Craver now going after Van Elst. Is he going to be able to make his way through? Jure's now got Gibbons for company. You can see the guys in the background all starting to get a little bit more spread out, but Ludovic Jure, you're not breaking away. You've got the man that is Stu Gibbo right behind him here. So we're going to see how this one pans out for them again as we're breaking near enough into the last 10 minutes. We've got 2 minutes to go before we do. And Dek Crowther, well, he's picking up some pace here and having a go at Sam Van Elst.
He's doing a good job, isn't he, so far, Crowther here. We'll see if he can try and take a move for P3 in the races. Actually, Gibbons gets past Jure there as Jure went wide coming out of paddock and gives Gibbons a nice run down towards the first corner. And I think he might have got that move complete. He has, yeah. You can see Jure on the outside, but couldn't quite get past. And here is Crowther looking to get third place away from Van Elst. And they've got a 3-second gap to Da Costa, who's got a 3-second gap up to Maxwell. So those two, I think, unless they make a mistake, they are clear in that first and second position. And yet again, people going wide there, coming out of wagon, and this gives Dek Crowther a chance as they head down towards the hairpin there. Bit of a late move to the outside, and we can see there Van Elst covers it perfectly as they head down into the hairpin.
Yeah, it does. Covers him off there. Dek Crowther not able to get through this time around. There was a couple of penalties given out for last week, of course. That was where Ludovic Jure had somewhat of a rough evening, shall we say. Was in with the stewards with 3 incidents. He basically ended up with 10 penalty points, Ludovic Jure, last week, and a 10-second time penalty. 5-second time penalty for race 2 and a 5-second time penalty for race 3. But he got 10 points overall there, so he's going to have to be careful. We don't want him racking up too many points before he starts getting quality pounds at race bet.
Of course, as we can see yet again, a move for third. As we can see, Van Elst to the inside, Crowther to the outside as they head into turn 1. You can see there Crowther trying to brake later, keep it round the outside, try and get on the power earlier than the Belgian and Van Elst as they head side by side now out of turn one, down towards Wagon Bend. It'll be the inside here for Crowther, who's probably in the best position as they head into the corner. But also looking to try and stick it around the outside as they go through and close to contact. And that is how you go side by side through Wagon Bend. Brilliant from the third and fourth place cars.
Yeah, there is. Clasper's in there now. Clasper wants a piece as he's coming down into the hairpin. Van Hulst still leads the way. Then Crowther sitting behind him in that fourth place. Dylan DaCosta and Luke Maxwell have gone off up the road, of course. So these guys now are going through the carousel before they come through the S's. Sam Van Hulst, Crowther and Clasper. And then you've got Gibbo and Ewan Stitchbury further back. Then you've got the Palmers of Kian and Wayne. Edwards dropped off a little bit behind that. Rob Williams, Dan Lewis there as well. So unfortunately, it goes quite not on the pace here at a circuit that you wouldn't think should be so hard.
Yeah, you know, you'd expect the cars to, I think, at least be a little bit closer than they are. And this time, yet again, a move for P3 on the cards. Crowther yet again to the outside into turn one, and he couldn't make it work last time. The question is, can he do it this time? Because last time, Clasper got in the way and probably cost him in that position of third as they head their way through turn one. And yet again, Van Hulst defending nicely and puts Crowther right behind. And Clasper here looking to try and capitalise off maybe a mistake from Van Hulst and Crowther as they head their way into Wagon Bend. And you can see there, Crowther pretty much pushing Van Hulst through, and Clasper definitely a good exit from him, looking to try and get it side by side here with Deck Crowther.
Yeah, he's trying to have a go. Crowther's putting his piece in, looked incredibly quick, coming over to the Clios from that GT4s. Gibbo's in the background. He's got Ewan Stitchbury for company, not very far apart. Unfortunately for Gibbo, though, while he's fighting Stitchbury, here come the Palmers. It's like a charge of the Palmer Brigade as Wayne is there, Kian's there as well, and these guys slowly starting to close up on this Stuart Gibbons, Ewan Stitchbury battle, who are slowly tracking down Ludovic Jure. 8 minutes remaining. Deck Crowther and Sam Van Hulst. This is where the battle's going to be. Can Crowther do it, do we think? Is he going to be able to get past Van Hulst before the end?
Well, he's looking to gain him once again, isn't he? He's got a good run, hasn't he, on the final corner every single time to try and get past Sam Van Hulst to the outside once again here. I thought this time he would have maybe tried the inside line of being as the outside. Hasn't really been his friend as they head in towards that first corner. Trying to break later this time around. And we can see Clasper also going deep, but this time a brilliant exit there from Crowther. They're looking to go side by side as they head their way through in towards Wagon Bend, shortly at the left-hander. And this time I think Crowther might be just about a car ahead as they head in towards the Wagon Bend. And he is. He's a car ahead. But the question is, can Van Hulst get a better exit? He can. Now he pulls to the inside, and Clasper looking to maybe get a move for fourth.
Yeah, Clasper's trying to go around the outside at the moment. Oh, contact on the back end of Crowther. That's allowed Van Hulst to come back out in front here. Now he's going to start running round. He's going to try and go round the outside of the carousel. Not a normal place. That's going to allow Clasper to come up on the inside. Ludovic Jure having a piece. Then you can see we've got the next four behind them going at each other as well. Clasper makes it past Crowther. Now he's got the run down, coming down into Van Hulst, down into the final bend, into paddock. Crowther's being pushed by Jure, literally being pushed by Jure. Clasper's got it all a little bit wrong around the last corner. Here comes Crowther now. We've lost one of the Palmers. Kian's off the side of the circuit, unfortunately for him. What happened to young Kian Palmer? Well, this was tied up with Stuart Gibbo. Slight little bit of contact, but coming down into turn one now. Is Deck Crowther going to be able to get Clasper? It looks like he's later on the brakes. Can he hang it out around the outside at the moment? Can, and Deck Crowther gets himself back up into that fourth place.
Yeah, brilliant move there from Deck Crowther, and there we can see as well it'll be Jure looking to get his way past Clasper as well for P4. Pulls it to the outside as they go round into Wagon Bend. Clasper literally just says, no, you can't pass me there. You'll have to do it at a different location as they head their way now down in towards the hairpin once again. And we can see a little bit further back as well. I think that might be Stuart Gibbons looking to get past Wayne Palmer for P8 as well. As at the moment, it seems like Edward Parfitt will be on pole position for the second race of the evening. We've still got 6 minutes left to go, nearly 5 minutes left to go here in this race. And so far, James, this has been a really good race. And I think it gets even more interesting when the likes of Maxwell and DaCosta have got to work their way through a pack. Yeah,
as long as they're doing it sensibly. I think that's the thing. They don't want to be doing it and hurtling through all in all, because otherwise it's going to be a whole load of trouble for all of them. But this is released Deck again. The Tiger is chasing down the Gazelle. Is he going to be able to get him with 5 minutes on the clock? He's going to have about 4 laps, maybe at the most, at 120 a lap here to try and get onto the back of an Ols. Crowther's last time was a 120.7. Sam Van Ols to 121.21. So Deck's quicker, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, Deck does look a lot quicker. And remember earlier on, they did break off to a second behind Van Alsten. Now, Crowther's right back trying to get himself into third position and take a podium as they head their way down into the hairpin once more. And I don't think Crowther's too keen on making the move just yet. No, he backs off for now, as we can see as well. Giro there trying to go to the outside of Clasper. Clasper covers the inside line, so no move can be made there from Ludovic Jure. And let's see here, what can Crowther do as they head their way in towards the S's now? The final couple of corners on this circuit, back to the left, and then they'll go back to the right once more. And now we've got Clasper, Jure, all involved in this battle now for third position. Any of these four here could be taking third place, and maybe if they keep going to contact and keep going side by side, Stitch Freak could get involved and maybe try and will launch himself through a few positions. As Luke Maxwell there, you can see in the 20.2 still on very, very good lap times.
Yeah, he's still flying his Maxwell out in front by 5.5 seconds. But this is where the action is, this middle pack. Is Deck going to be able to get him? That's going to be the question for Deck. Is he going to be able? The problem is he going to wait too long? And that's going to bring Clasper and Jure into it as they run side by side round turn 1 before they start heading off up the left-hander up through Wagon. Jure's going to be in the inside. Clasper's got to leave him room this time. It's very hard on that outside line. Clasper does just about, a little bit of door banging on the way through. Ludovic Jure, David Clasper as they come down through the chute now. Too wide. Slight little bit of rubbing. Onto the brakes he goes. Ludovic Jure does make it through and sets up on his mission to get Deck Crowther here. But I think it could be Crowther's got to get Van Alst at some point. He's only going to have this lap and maybe 2 more at the most here, Nathan. It's got to be tough for him, but I think he's just going to have to send it on him.
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, Crowther's a little bit scared to kind of send it from far back. We've seen him at some points be within a 10th and still not really made a send on Van Alsten third. And I think the issue that Crowther has is if you don't make the move soon, you'll have Jure, who probably will get through because Jure's picked up the pace a little bit now, as we can go on board here with Crowther as he heads his way down to turn 1. Yes, again with a brilliant run here on the back of Sam Van Alst, who defends to the inside. Crowther's got to break later and go round the outside here of the Belgian driver. Let's see if he can do it. He breaks just before the 2 cones, pulls it to the outside. Bit of contact slightly, I think, between the two, and now to allow Jure to get a good run and maybe make a move into Wagon Bend. But we've got Clasper still looking to try and find a way through. Goes to the right. Carmaker there has to back out, and now got to look to the inside, and you can see Jure there getting a little bit scared as they head their way through. But this train change is absolutely brilliant between 3rd and P6.
Yeah, battling away now. Stitchbury's coming into the background. You can see the Palmer Wayne there as well. But these 4 cars continually to fight. Oh, Deck went on the defensive. Slight little nudge from Jure there as he just didn't expect Deck to come over. 130 on the clock. It gets down to round about 120 as Luke comes over the line. It's going to be a very, very close. Whether or not he's going to hit this final lap, I think he is going to hit the final lap. It is. Barney is waving, and we are on the final lap of the race. These guys now are going to have this one, then this one more to go, and it's Deck's final run, his final stance, his final push. He's got to go for it, surely.
Yes, Crowther's got to push hard there and make the move. He's got to just get his elbows out and get himself into third position. He's pulling alongside yet again if he can into turn 1, looking to get that slipstream here off the back of Sam Van Alst. Pulls to the outside. Van Alst sits it in the middle of the track, so there's no way through at all for Deck Crowther. He tries to get a good run on him out of turn 1 up towards Wagon Bend. Possibly here could be an opportunity if he can get the slipstream at the last second and then send it. But I don't think he can. So now he's going to have to go for it in towards the hairpin.
Yeah, he's just got to get this corner nailed. Grab some mad overspeed if he can. He's going to go on a defensive because he knows he's got Jure behind him. Is he just going to give him a little bit of a nudge just to set him off a little bit? Ludovic Jure tries it, doesn't quite make it this time. I think first place is going to be Luke Maxwell as he's going to be coming round the final corner with Da Costa in second. We'll pick up on Luke just going over the line in a brief moment. But these guys continually to fight it out. There is your winner, Mr. Luke Maxwell, as he comes over the line in first place. Great job from him. Dylan Da Costa's going to come over the line in second. But what's going to happen here as these guys continually fighting? It looks like it is going to be Van Hulst. It looks like it is going to be Crowther. Ludovic Jure there. David Clasper. Wow. As they were there. Great little fight from Sam Van Hulst and Deck Crowther. And a nice little scrap from them boys as well. So,
yep,
great little bit of action there with all of them. As everybody else comes over the line, we're just waiting for young Kean Palmer, who had his own little moment for him. Right, let's bring you up the results for heat number 1. And Luke Maxwell is your winner by 8 seconds over Dylan Da Costa with Sam Van Hulst in third. Deck Crowther, Ludovic Jure, David Clasper, Ewan Stitch, Wayne Palmer all finished within barely a second of each other. Then Stuart Gibbons, Edward Parfitt, Dan Lewis, Rob Williams and Kean Palmer there. No Chris Barnes, unfortunately. Edward will start on pole, so that's going to be an interesting one for the young man to see how he copes. They have got a little bit of time before they've got to grid up there as well. Nathan, great little action from the guys in the middle of the pack. We're going to expect more of it.
I think we will, because you got, lots of Maxwell and Da Costa who are down in 10th and 9th, and they've got to pass that, that battle that was between Van Hulst, Crowther, Jure and Clasper. So it's going to be quite a hard time trying to pass that little train, which, seems to be very equal in terms of pace. So yeah, this could definitely be a big race, especially for the championship leaders and protagonists. And of course, at the front, obviously, Parfitt, Gibbons, Palmer, who wasn't really with that leading train at the end of the race. They've now got a chance to try and take a podium, or at least try and take a top 5. But with all those behind trying to push forward, it's going to be a very, very hard job indeed. And of course, with Daniel Lewis, Rob Williams and Kean Palmer in 11th, 12th and 13th, at the end of the day, if they're not on the pace, they're not going to be too angry with the position they're in, because they will be sitting, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, if they keep where they are, in the next race.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you've got to be sensible going into race 2, because you know where you can be, and there's no point jeopardizing yourself any further. Realistically, we know Parfitt, Palmer, Stitchbury, Gibbo are not all quite at the pace with the likes of Clasper, Jure, Crowther, Van Hulst, Da Costa and Maxwell. So it's really about how they're going to be able to deal with that as well. Me personally, I'd probably let them go to a degree and sit back and think, well, I'm not on your pace, so therefore I'm not going to really mess around. So that's just me, but, I'm different.
Indeed. I think there's lots of different ways you can take a race, and well, you got many different scenarios, haven't we, in this race now? Obviously, with everyone in that top 14, is Chris Barnes back with us for this race? I believe he will be, won't he?
It depends if he gets it onto the grid, so we'll find out on that one. But I think it's going to be a very interesting race number 2. That was a absolutely barnstorming battle between everyone in this race at the moment. So we've got a couple of minutes before they start getting on to the grid. LM Sim Racing, hello, good evening. Evans, well, I haven't quite caught up with everything going on. So thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and to catch all of this action, go on Tinehawk, says JC303. Who is that? Tinehawk there, let us know. I'm sure that's somebody in the... I don't remember.
And aren't where are the cars? I thought they were meant to be on track by now.
They've got a 5-minute grid.
Okay. So they can have a chill out and work out what they want to do for this next race. Obviously, the likes of Da Costa and Jure, who are yet again quite close on track together, they can have a chat and figure out what the best strategy is for those two going in towards this race. But championship-wise, after race 1, I think Da Costa takes the lead by 1 point in the championship. So it's still very close at the front. Obviously, Da Costa finishing second and Van finishing third. Giray as well in in fourth position in that race. He'll also be trying to close up and keep with that top two in the championship. But obviously Maxwell with missing Laguna's sake, obviously down in ninth on 123 points. He'll now jump up onto 173 and get himself into around, I think, fifth position there. So Maxwell, if you can win again in this race, that is, well, it'd be more than ideal, wouldn't it, for him to try and lead himself back into that championship. But in order to do that, he's got to get past 9 other cars to try and get himself into the lead.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I still wouldn't be shocked that he'll go and do it. I just got a funny feeling. If he can start clearing out through the traffic, I think he'll be there or thereabouts, will Luke Maxwell. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. I'm just going to shut my window. The wind's just blown it full open, nearly ripped it off its hinges there. Poor old window just had a little bit of an heart attack. Got gusted open. But there we go. The guys start getting onto the grid for race number 2. I'd like to all tell you as well, big moment in the Parfitt household. Fibre optic is coming in the first 2 weeks of May. After waiting 2 years or whatever it's been, is now coming in the first 2 weeks of May. So hopefully that will settle down on the fact that my son is blinking his head off. But it seems to settle down once the racing gets up and running. So I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, full fibre, 900 up, 900 down, coming in the second week in May. We haven't got long to wait. Trust me, my kids are screaming at me for full fibre optic. And I've been ringing the fibre optic company every single day to find out. They even, to be fair, they even had a meeting in my little town the other day. The company who's doing the fibre build, and literally was filling us all in into what they're gotta, what's left to do, and how roads that they're digging up and everything. Quite a dramatic installation, I'll be honest. Being that they've had to go through a few fields, dodge a few sheep and cows.
Well, in the end, it works well for you.
It does, but it's just taken longer than it's thinking had to. Quite annoying. Happy birthday, Ludovic Jures. If it's Ludovic Jures' birthday and you'll watch this back, happy birthday to you, sir, as well. So happy birthday to Ludovic from the Virtual Drivers by TX. He had a great race 1. Let's see if he can repeat that in race number 2. Caught himself up in a few little ding-dongs last week, so I'm sure he's out to make better of himself, should we say.
Of course, and we did see at the start of race 1, he was a little bit lower on the pace, but once he got through to around halfway in that first heat, he got himself into a decent position, was trying to pull back and get himself some more moves, and was looking at one point to try and take third. So Giray now in a decent position to try and take some more points here in this race and try and keep himself in the top 2 in the championship, and keep himself with Maxwell, who I think after tonight could easily get himself fighting for third in that championship battle. But another driver I'm keen to see what he can do is Ewan Stitchbury in 4th position now, obviously on the back of the 3 Brits of Edward, Stewart and Wayne. I think he will be looking to try and get himself maybe onto that podium, or maybe try and fight for the top step of the podium. But as we know, with all those behind it will be a very, very difficult job indeed.
Definitely will. Let's see when Edward goes here. Sensibly, he will bolt off the last corner. Will not keep them all together as onto that start-finish line, as you're leaving yourself open for an attack in turn 1. Start backing them up. Let the pace car go. There we go. Good lad. We got to get this right. This is the worry. I don't think he's been at the front for a very long time, and definitely not on a rolling start. I'll tell you that much. Right, there you go.
Safety car peels away.
Yeah, safety car peels away, goes over the line. Edwards bolted, and once again, race 2 will be up and running. He did what he had to do with 3 wide further back with David Clasper in the mix there. As you can see, these guys going past us 3 wide with Wayne Palmer in there. Ludovic Jure. Jure settles in behind Clasper. He's going to go after the inside there. Oh! Stu Gibbo! Where you going, mate? Stu,
is he got a puncture?
No, it's just the way the graphics look when it goes at certain points, unfortunately, here on iRacing. don't think there was any contact with anybody. I think he missed his braking point and went and got it all a little bit wrong there. And Stu Gibbons is in now down the order. Edward still leading the way. Ewan Stitchbury in second. Clasper Palmer. And we've got Van Olst behind. Maxwell's already up 3. He's into 7th, battling away with Ludovic Jure. He's having a fight at the moment. Jure's not going to give this up. He knows he's got to try and let Dylan go through, because I think Dylan would be on the pace with Luke. But now he's got back in front of Luke. It's going to make it harder to allow Dylan to go through. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there.
Yeah, it's hard to make those moves, isn't it? As well as we can see, Maxwell once again looking to defend here from Da Costa as they head their way towards the paddock bend to finish the first lap. And Edward Parfitt leads by nearly a second to Ewan Stitchbury, and then David Clasper in third place. And further back, we can see Keen Palmer also making a battle, as we can see Clasper now looking to try and take Peter away from Stitchbury as they head their way down into turn 1. I've got to say, I think, what is it, Stitchbury's first race, and he's got a brilliant livery on that car.
Yeah, he has. I think it's his traditional purple livery that he normally rocks and runs. Anyway, he puts it on a truck, he puts it on a NASCAR, he puts it on anything where it will fit, to be blatantly honest, for Ewan Stitchbury. And he's got it on the little Clio as well. Dylan Da Costa's cleared Luke Maxwell. So Maxwell was dropped down into 8th place. Stitchbury and Parfitt are running side by side. This is for the lead. Is Stitchbury going to get up on the inside? He is. Parfitt tries to open up and wash him out a little bit. Can't get in. He's got in behind Stitchbury, which was the most important thing, because otherwise he would have been struggling with David Clasper, who he knows fast, and he's up 2 places at the moment is David. So next up for David is Edward. Edward's trying to get hold of Stitchbury again. Goes to the outside. Stitchbury looks at giving him room. Edward's got a massive overspeed here. Can he now get it stopped and go around that final corner? He can. Take the inside. Get off the grass to the inside instantly. That's what I would have been doing. Over he goes. Defends that inside line. He needs to be more definitive when he closes the door, though, mind you. And these group of cars come washing down, straight down towards us here, Nathan. It's any one of these front 8 who could win this race.
Yeah, a brilliant job so far with all the battling, and so clean between everyone in that top 8, looking to battle. And Maxwell ahead of Jure as they head in towards turn 1, and now Maxwell looking to try and close down on Da Costa's. You can see Stitchbury there looking for a move on Parfitt, but can't quite make it work there in towards turn number 2. And then Clasper as well under some pressure here from Van Olst, who's looking to get himself back onto the podium once again here in the Summit Point Raceway. Race round number 3, of course, and we can see further back as well, Crowther looking to make a move, and it hits Da Costa, doesn't he, as he heads in, and he's off the circuit, and that was, well, really, no, sorry, that's Maxwell who went wide, wasn't it? Maxwell who broke late, not Crowther, sorry.
Maxwell was hard on the brakes trying to stop him and then ended up going off. This is where these reverse grids really seem to be Maxwell's Achilles heel. Will go and win the first one, and then they'll struggle in round 2 and 3. Now we've got Van Olsen, Clasper, Stitchbury in there as well. The longer these guys fight, the more Edward can just run off down the road. If he wins this race, I'm never going to hear the end of it. Sam Van Olsen on the grass. Is he going to get it back on? He is. Wayne Palmer's in there. They're going to go 3 wide down into turn 1. Palmer on the left. Clasper in the middle. Stitchbury's on the outside. It's going to need facilitating, boys. Otherwise, it's all just going to go a little bit wrong. And it does with Clasper just backing off a little bit there. Palmer making his way through. They're now running 2 wide, 2 deep. Having a right little ding-dong. Edwards escaping like a scolded cat down the road while Ewan Stitchbury and David Clasper, Wayne Palmer, Sam Van Olst, and Ludovic Jure, they're all going at it here.
Yep, everyone's trying to make moves on there in this race, and that's bringing Luke Maxwell back into this one as well, as he's a little bit further back, as we can see. So Stitchbury defended, as that's going to be Da Costa making a move on Palmer as they head down in towards the next couple of corners, and you can see there Da Costa on the outside. Palmer sends him a little bit deep, and a bit of contact. Then we've got Jure, and that'll be Crowther fighting as well for position. Van Olst fighting for position, and now Van Olst getting past 1. Can he get past 2? Not quite. Getting past Da Costa there, but will have a good run down towards the paddock bend to try and launch himself in towards P5 and try and fight then after that for the podium, as we can see Da Costa there flashing his lights at Palmer. I don't think he was too happy with Palmer giving him a bit of a tap as they went in towards the S's section. And now we can see that'll be Crowther and Maxwell fighting for position down towards turn number 1, and we'll see what can Maxwell do here. Down to P9, looking to try and get into P8, as we can see DaCosta yet again looking to close in here on the back of Wayne Palmer. And also we've got Clasper there looking to make a move on the back of Stitchbury, and now Parfitt's got a 1.5 second gap here to the second place.
Yeah, he's got to just try and get on his bike a little bit more. He did have it out at 1.7. It's come down a little bit now. They've kind of settled down a little bit, and he just needs them to keep having their little ding-dongs so he can escape. He's not the fastest here tonight, and he's told me that already, but he's just doing a great job keeping some pace up at the moment. The gap's coming down. He loses a lot of time on the run down into the hairpin. He's got to try and speed that up. Clasper's there, Stitchbury's there, Palmer's in there. Now we've got DaCosta, Sam Van Olst, Ludovic Jure, Dek Crowther. He's bringing Maxwell into the action. These middle pack, this is why we said about ditching the Pro-Ams, because of the fact that these guys could just have a right little ding-dong. Any one of these can win this race.
Of course, they're all doing a brilliant job, and obviously with Parfitt not always being on that full top pace, it allows those in second and below to try and catch up and then fight for the lead. But Parfitt's defence so far has been brilliant to keep himself in the lead, and I think he made a mistake there on an exit, as we can see Stitchbury gaining in very quickly down towards turn number 1, and also we can see DaCosta there going side by side with Palmer once again as they head down into the first corner, and Van Olst there just tucking in behind the back of DaCosta. DaCosta near hitting Clasper as well as they head down into turn number 1, and now Van Olst on the outside of Palmer, looking there to drop down to P6 as Van Olst is on the outside, bit of contact as they head their way in towards the wagon bend now. Will it be Palmer or will it be Van Olst with P5? I think it will be Van Olst, who just about gets it, slight bit of contact for a second, but Van Olst now into the top 5.
Yeah, you can tell they've stopped having a little bit of a ding-dong. That gap's come right down now to the guys in front. It's 6/10 to Edward now. If that goes white, they're going to be they are in even closer territory here. So they're going to have to be a little bit smart about it. For Edward, he's got to make sure he gets this right. He's not always made the best decisions when he's been in these positions, and it was one of the things he's been trying to work on in the off-season. Does he let them go? Does he slot in? Does he keep having a ding-dong? Well, now the Pro-Ams is gone. Fight to your heart's content, as long as you don't do anything silly here, because that would be the last thing he wants with his dad on comms while he's on the broadcast.
Yeah, because I'm sure there'd be a few words afterwards, wouldn't there, James? You wouldn't want your son, destroying your legacy here in the Clio Cup. As we can see Clasper there defending from DaCosta. Stitchbury looking to make a move. Clasper actually then goes on the attack of Stitchbury in towards turn number 1 and keeping it round the outside. DaCosta thinking, oh, I'll get myself up the inside there as they head their way up in towards turn number 2 now. And still, the battling here has been superb all race long, and still nearly halfway through into the race. And Clasper looking to send it into Wagon Bend there on the back of Stitchbury, and very close to contact, and Parfitt goes wide, and now they all catch up, and here Parfitt could be swamped as they head down into the hairpin.
Yeah, he managed to maintain his speed. That was the only good thing about it. He managed to hold his speed there. Sam Van Olst, Wayne Palmer, Ludovic Jure, Dek Crowther, Luke Maxwell, Stitchbury's in there. You can see he's having a right little ding-dong. There's the back end of the JPB Esports boy. Trying to run away. He's been dragged back into it. The top 9 are literally separated by nothing. 2.4 seconds from 1st to 9th. That is it at this moment in time, and they've still got 10 minutes to go. I can guarantee there's going to be some sweat coming off some of these as they're having this right little ding-dong. Wayne Palmer's got Ludovic Jure there. He moves over. Palmer just parks his car in the middle of the circuit. Now Jure's going to try and muscle him off the inside. It's Palmer. Oh, you gave him an inch. He's taken a mile. Through goes Ludovic Jure. Is he going to get it stopped? That's going to be the question. He did get it stopped, I believe, and he made that move over Wayne Palmer. Job done for Ludovic Jure. 10 minutes to go. Edward's still out in front. Ewan Stitchbury's on the prowl. He's trying to get hold of him. Dylan DaCosta, Clasper, Sam Van Olst, and Ludovic Jure up through. They go through Wagon on the run down into the chute again. And this is where Edward seems to lose a chunk of time. Manages to hold it, get it out a little bit there, so he's getting quicker through that bit as he starts going on now. Luke Maxwell sitting down in 8th, only up 2 though, Nave. Not quite the last to first that we were expecting.
Yeah, this is not what Maxwell would want, considering Da Costa, who was probably slower than him in the first race, is up in third place. So, obviously Da Costa making, capitalising on what Maxwell couldn't do. And now this is going to put even more pressure on the back of Maxwell's going into the third race. He's going to have to do a lot of it yet again as they all head their way in towards the final corner. And then we can see the gap between Parfitt and Stitchbury is 0.6 of a second. So far, Parfitt doing good under pressure. As we can see, Clasper once more under pressure here from Van Als as they head down to turn 1. We got Palmer under pressure from Maxwell as well as they head down into turn number 1. And can we see a move here from Van Als on the outside of Clasper? Tries to go for it, but I don't think he can. As also, we got Parfitt under pressure here from Stitchbury.
Yeah, he's opened up the steer and he just gave Ewan something to think about. No! Oh, you were kidding!
Oh,
That's a straight back to the pits if he went over the wall.
what a shame for Parfitt there. Bit of contact and he's gone from the lead. And you can see there, Stitchbury just turns over a bit and Da Costa's there as well. And what a shame. Could have been a victory here for Edward, but unfortunately he'll be in the pits and out.
I can guarantee there's some choice words going on in front of that as well. I can guarantee I'll probably hear that for quite a while instead of Da Costa and Ewan Stitchbury there. So still going at each other again. And now these guys up the front. And let's see what happens there, I guess, with the stewards.
Yeah, I think there will definitely be a steward's wording from that one, of course, as we can see Sam Van Alst yet again on the rear of Ludovic Jure for P4, and also Stitchbury now in the position to try and take the lead away from Da Costa. But once Dylan's got in the lead now, I can't see anyone really catching up with him as his pace was second best in that first heat. As we can see now Van Alst to the outside here as Jure. These two looking to battle once more in this race, and 8 minutes left to go here in heat number 2, and you can see there Jure runs a bit deep to allow Van Alst to not get a run on him, and then we got for a second Maxwell looking to try and make a move. He now moves to the outside, and that gives him the inside at Wagon Ben. Maybe he can try and stick his nose up the inside. He can't, because you can see there Van Alst saw him coming and decided to cover that inside line.
Yeah, it was Sam Van Alst blocking the inside. Maxwell's now going to go and try and give him some grief here, I'm sure. Craver's trying to bring Palmer into it with Dan Lewis as well. These guys having a ding-dong in the middle. These 13 cars providing action all the way through. Dan Lewis on the back end of Wayne Palmer. You got Stitchbury chasing down Da Costa. You got Clasper and Ludovic Jure still going at it in the middle with Sam Van Alst and Luke Maxwell. Just coming to 6.5 minutes here. And this has just been non-stop from the beginning.
It has. Brilliant racing all the way through so far in the first heat, and also even better here in this second heat, and then into the third heat we'll have the top 14, or the top 13 I should say, switched around. So then again it could be even more exciting as they all pile their way in towards that next 20-minute race. But we've still got 7 minutes to go here in this one, and still it's Da Costa who leads ahead of Stitchbury, ahead of Clasper in third, and Van Alst here yet again looking to make a move on the rear of Jure. He breaks later, doesn't he, and nearly taps the rear of Jure as they head their way through and towards turn 1, and then Clasper yet again under pressure, and Clasper still can't get a break, can he? Every time he's either attacking or defending.
Yeah, he's got to get his head on a swivel. Almost turns David Clasper into an owl. Trying that hard to look behind and look in front all at the same time is never the easiest thing to go. As he's got the ever-improving Ludovic Jure here going at him again. Clasper's on the defence round the hairpin. He's going to look for the carousel. Stitchbury now being caught up here. He goes round the manages to hold it. Ludovic Jure goes in a little bit deep, loses a little bit time over David Clasper, and now Clasper tries to get the run and try and go after Stitchbury. Costa 1.1 seconds up the road now. So let's see how these guys continue to go once more into the final 5 minutes already.
Of course, and with now Da Costa breaking away from the pack, Stitchbury hasn't got much of a slipstream down towards turn 1, which means Clasper is in the perfect position now to try and take P2 away from Ewan Stitchbury as they head their way now in towards the first corner. Can a Clasper try and take P2 away? You can see him gaining in there. Stitchbury defending to the inside and then moves back to the outside as he knows that Clasper isn't close enough there into turn one to make a move. We can see further behind Maxwell there looking to try and make a move ahead of Van Os, as that was going to be Jure going deep there. Drops a couple of positions, allows Crowther now to try and fight his way through as well as they head in towards the wagon bend. And we've got Jure on the inside, Crowther on the outside. Who will make the move for P6? I think Jure gets it done. He has, as he shuts the door, and Crowther can't find his way around the outside at all.
Yeah, Crowther's going for it once more here. Gonna have a right old little ding dong. I'm sure Dex was looking quick in race one, being sort of sat in that mid-pack battle for race two. Now we're going to go after Jure. Jure's lost positions here. He is where he started, but he has lost some positions from where he was in the race. Maxwell went through on him. Sam Van Olster's gone through, and now I think Crowther's going to have a right little ding-dong, depending if Maxwell can hold up Jure just a little bit. Maxwell's got to go after Van Olster. He needs as many points between as he can get here. Don't forget, there's a big old points gap this season as well, so they've got to be careful. 50 for the win, so that's what Dylan DaCosta's on, and in 5th place Luke Maxwell's on 30, so that's a 20-point drop at the moment between Luke Maxwell and Dylan DaCosta. Maxwell really needs to clear Van Olst and Clasper if he can in the final 5 minutes.
Of course, and with the P2 for DaCosta and a P1 here so far, he's going to also look to extend that championship lead, which he has at the moment. And close to contact there, and Maxwell spins round. Who that'd be? Van Olsen. Luckily, they can collect the car and Crowther, Jure. We've got Lewis as well looking to get involved here as they head their way in towards Wagon Bend and 3 wide. This surely will not end well for one of them as they head their way through. Who will be in what position? We can see Jure being pushed out wide. We can see there Van Olsen just to make gets himself ahead, and now Maxwell into P4, but they've lost so much time to Clasper and those ahead. They're going to really struggle to try and catch up for those podium places, as we can see there. That'll be Crowther ahead of Bounce, and this is a replay here, James, into turn one. A bit of a late breaking from Maxwell, and that spins Van Olst red and then allows Crowther to go to the outside.
Yeah, it does allow him, though, to basically push Van Olst almost back round again. You know, and I think that's the thing for Van Olst. He does manage to get going again, but that does bring the points gap now. Maxwell on 33. That's 17 points now that Dylan DaCosta's going to get on him there. David Clasper's in there still. Stitchbury's in that 2nd place. But it is this mid-pack with Jure, Van Olst, Dan Lewis, Crowther, and in the back, just Wayne Palmer start making that move there. So he's trying to scrap away and trying to close the door. He's got Dan Lewis coming at him. He makes it onto the back of Dan Lewis. Sam Van Olst is trying to get rid of Ludovic Jure. Jure tries to go late on the brakes. Not too late. Oh, close going through turn one.
Yeah, that was a lucky one indeed, wasn't it, for Jure? He locked up as well, so we knew he was going to maybe end up in the back of Van Olst's Clio, but luckily they all make it through safe and sound in towards the first corner, and now yet again in towards Wagon Bend, and they head their way down to the hairpin. A bit of a wide moment there for Van Olst, and allows Jure to try catch up once again to the outside. That'll give him the inside for the hairpin. Can Jure get the move done? He chucks it to the inside, breaks late but goes deep. That allows Van Olst to go straight back through. Brilliant switch back there, and then also that'll be Dan Lewis making the move ahead, and they make contact, and also Wayne Palmer nearly gets caught up in that one, and Lewis into the wall.
Oh, Dan Lewis. We'll have a look. See.
Oof.
Back just a little bit, I think, on that one.
Gonna go in. It's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because you know what could also be included in that. You know, we get that Velcro attachment, don't you, between the cars in iRacing, and you end up being stuck together, and that unfortunately looked like, but what was happening with it looked like it happened with Ewan and Edward and Dylan DaCosta, and it looks kind of the same thing there with Dan Lewis, unfortunately, and Ludovic Jure.
Of course, and with it being the white flag now, we will begin the final lap of the race, and DaCosta with a 1.8 second lead here. I don't think we'll drop that at all from Stitchbury, and obviously Stitchbury in 2nd, Clasper's in 3rd, and then the main battle we got only now on track is between Palmer and Jure for P7 and P8, and also Kean Palmer catching up to this battle here to try and get himself higher than 9th position, and we'll see here, can Palmer get the move done on Jure? No, he can't, and Palmer there, the other Palmer, sorry, Kean Palmer looking to catch up and try and make a move himself.
Yeah, Stitchbury will looking like he will hang on to that second place. Clasper will look at hanging on to that third place. Ian Palmer, Wayne Palmer. Dad's in Sim Stickers. Kian's in the JPB Esports liveried machine. They're coming around the final corner. Dylan DaCosta is going to take the victory in race 2. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of looking into from the stewards regarding that incident in with him, Ewan and Edward. Stitchbury comes over in second. Clasper comes over in third. Ian jumped Dad. He jumped Dad as well.
1,000.
Yep. Oh, and then Dad said, right, stickers to you, you're going in the wall. So unfortunately that for them. Stuart Gibbons, Rob Williams comes over the line. Edward's going to be able to go round, get another lap done here. Obviously it's got to complete that 75% rule to score points. No, you should be there, to be fair. He's only...
Yeah.
Is he going to be 13? Yeah, he's only 2 laps back.
Well, Edward will be on pole again.
Yes, it will.
Curse. The pole position curse.
I think the problem is he did all right until that little bit of contact, and I think for a young man, and I still don't really know where we can look and see. Go back just a little, slow it down just a little bit, jump onto the chopper. See, comes to the right, and he is to the right-hand side. Stitchbury comes over and collects him. So, I don't know.
It's a hard one to judge because they're both. It looked like Edward moved over a bit, but also Stitchbury was also moving over at the same time. And once you bang wheels, you can't really get yourself away from each other, so they end up getting collected. And well, it was Edward, unfortunately, who ended up in the wall, and DaCosta, luckily, not getting involved that much in that one.
Yeah, Dylan DaCosta was your winner with you and Stitchbury in second, David Clasper in third, Luke Maxwell fourth, with Deck Craver in fifth, Sam Van Olsten sixth, Ludovic Jure in seventh, Ian Palmer 8th, Wayne Palmer picked Dad right at the line, Rob Williams in 10th, Stuart Gibbons in 11th, Dan Lewis in 12th, Edward Parfitt in 13th. Obviously, we know Chris Barnes has not made it. We've got the 5-minute consolidation race. 5-minute warm-up before they go into the last feature race. Sorry. Teach me from reading something at the same time.
Well, here we are once again, a long wait, 4 minutes to go until they look to get underway for the final heat of the evening. And of course, with Edward on pole once again, I think he was alongside Dan Lewis on the front row of the grid. So that'll be an interesting one once more. And we'll see what can happen on this next race. Obviously, Maxwell yet again now will be down into Waterbury P9 and DaCosta down to 13th. So a lot of work for him to do from the back of the grid. And this will be a rather interesting race, won't it, now? Because we've had, a race with Luke on pole, then we had a race with Edward on pole with Luke and being further back, and now we've got DaCosta, who was our race 2 winner, right at the back. This is going to be a very, very interesting race, because, yes, again, you don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah, we haven't got a clue. Rob Williams messaged me, and he said, mate, I checked it last night, it was on standing start. Well, yeah, but clearly, Rob, iRacing don't like you, as you're the one setting up the session. Oh, dearie me. Oh, well, it is what it is.
Can it ever go perfect? No, surely not. Not everything can go perfect.
Try every single week, and as he said, he checked it and checked it and checked it, because he had this problem the other week, and he was like, I've checked it, I've done it all. I said, okay, mate, no drama. And still didn't. So whatever he's doing, I have no idea, but I'll have a chat with him, help him out a bit. Now the calendar has been out for next season. Now obviously at the moment we're following the officials, and we're tying up with the guys in the Renault Clio official Discord. Our drivers have had votes on them and stuff like that, and the official calendar has been out. This is the provisional official for next season, which what we will be looking at following will be Lime Rock Classic with the no chicanes, Knock Hill Racing Circuit International, Snetterton 200, Oschersleben Grand Prix Circuit, Donington Park Racing Circuit National, Virginia International Raceway Full Course. Now, we're not quite sure we will do the full course in that. We'll probably bring in the south or the west. Road Atlanta Fall, that's fair enough. Circuit de Lebanon, Brands Hatch, Rudskogen, Tsukuba, and Alton Park will be on the Clios for next season. Now, we will look into the new season if we're doing another one after this. And we will go through there as well. So, but let's see how we get on for now. But that was the original, that is the provisional calendar for next season.
Yeah, I think on this game, I love the calendars because, first of all, we use a lot of free tracks, which I think is a nice thing because it gives everyone a chance to race. But also, I think the tracks we get for free are very, very good. I think we've got some brilliant circuits all over the world that the drivers get to take part in, and we do miss a few of the brilliant tracks, some of the iconic ones, but you've got to pay for some of them, haven't you? Of course.
Yeah.
They're not going to give everything for free, are they?
No, yeah, that's the thing. And some of these free circuits are good, and that's the thing, but some of the paid circuits are so much better. Like, Sebring Club Circuit. Oh, that little Sebring circuit is amazing. And a couple of others that are on there as well that we've used previously in the past. We even used the Monza Junior. That was funny. That was just like a straight right turn wiggle, straight right turn, straight. It was almost like doing an oval. So, but it was funny. It brought great racing. However, trying to put 40 cars around there wasn't always the best thing. And I think anybody who can vouch that they were doing season 1, I believe it was, back here in the Clios, can vouch that the Monza Junior with 40 cars was not the best thing. Wasn't our best idea.
Well, you got to try everything once.
That's what they say. Try it once, twice if you like it. So there we go. That is the end of the warm-up. And we'll bring you up the grid there. We know Chris Barnes is not going to be here, so Edward Parfitt will be on pole again. This time alongside Dan Lewis, with Stu Gibbons, Rob Williams, Wayne Palmer, Kean Palmer, Ludovic Jure, Sam Van Ols, Deck Craver, Luke Maxwell, David Clasper, Ewan Stitchbury, and Dylan DaCosta will be the last one there. So let's see if these guys can make it away again and see how they get on. Edward's got a second bite of the cherry and see how he goes here. He should technically become the lead once it starts going on the pace lap, wouldn't he?
Well, hopefully, because on my screen it does say that Chris Barnes is leading, but, well, he's not really here, is he? So I don't think that's really that possible. But yet again, it's going to be a very interesting race indeed, and we can see, of course, the lights pop on. We'll have that formation lap where we go around the whole circuit. The drivers can get themselves nice and warmed up, ready to go for what should be a very, very fun race. And
oh, Davey B. Giving Mr. Stitchbury a bit of grief in the Discord, bless him. I do like Dylan DaCosta. The first thing Dylan messed, he tagged me and went, "James, it wasn't me who took him out."
I saw it, yeah, I saw it in the chat.
Straight away, he was like, "James, it weren't me."
Well, we don't want the bias penalties, do we? You'll just throw a penalty in there for whoever it was.
Yeah, well, I don't do. The thing is, that's the only thing I do not get involved with, right? Partly because obviously my son's in here. I've got friends who race in series across that we do in the GT4s and this as well. I have nothing to do with the stewarding process. That is all out of my hands. That is Steve Barnes, head steward, deals with it all. He makes the videos every week. He does the punishments. I have got nothing to do with that. So if anybody comes to me with the stewards, please don't. Because I don't want anything to do with it, and I have nothing to do with it whatsoever. Best way to be, I find there.
Keep out of it, yeah. The stewards are the ones who get the most grief. That's why whenever I do F1 stuff, I'll keep out of that, because no way am I getting involved with very angry drivers who've been taken out or lost positions and lost championships. Yeah, that is not where I want to get involved, because it can become a very hostile environment indeed, especially if the driver who is in a condition is very liked by the community. I've learned that many times in the past, but we'll see what Parfitt could do. Front pole position once again ahead of Lewis, and then obviously we've got Gibbons, Williams involved as well. We haven't seen much of Williams at all, have we, in these past couple of races?
He comes in, he admins it. He comes in because I know Rob in real life, like I'm going to say real life, but away from obviously my next door neighbour. He was the one who got me into Y racing. and he's coming and admin it. Doesn't necessarily like the car. So he just goes about his business for Rob and sees where he end up. He hasn't got any aspirations of winning anything. He just comes in and tries to learn and get better and better each week.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the best way to be.
Yeah, give it a go and see what happens. And, he's not done the worst job in the world. I'm sure I'd do a lot worse. I'm sure you do as well, Jay. I'd do a lot worse than him as well. But we can get underway now.
Yeah, Edwards bolted away again. He's done the jump right at the beginning. Now he's got Dan Lewis in behind him. Gibbo's in there as well. Jure's. Whoa!
Oh!
Where are they going? Wherever they're going, they'll be there in the morning.
And
that was a big one. That sent 3 people over the wall.
Yeah, and Jure was involved in that one again, and obviously got swapped onto the grass and flew over. And we can see the replay here, and so I think that'll be key in Palmer there. Pushes Jure off the circuit. Jure flies on the grass. She got no grip at all. Flies back on as Palmer. Oh no, sorry, it was Palmer who collected the 2 on the right. That was Van Olst and I believe Rob Williams involved there. Yeah, so Van Olst, who was looking quite good in the championship, now going to lose a few points as well. He's talking about Rob Williams earlier. I think we cursed him a bit, didn't we, James?
Yeah, because now this happened.
Yeah, and it seems Palmer's hit Jure. Yeah, and Jure's hit Palmer, and because Palmer's then got a bit squiggly off, he's through to the right, and well, there's nothing he could quite do there. But there we are, 9 drivers left racing here.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to Dylan DaCosta. He went off track as well.
Yeah.
And he's gone off into the underworld. Oh, he got caught in Clasper. Once you go over there, though, boom, straight back to the pits. So, unfortunately, we've had 4 people in the pit road. Edward Parfitt's bolting away. And now, can he hold on to it this time? Where's Stitchbury? Where is he? He's all the way back down here in 7. So, I would say he'd be all right. But unfortunately, Luke Maxwell's there.
Yeah, Maxwell looking to try and get third away from Palmer. Does get third away from Palmer, and now looking to close it and take second from Stuart Gibbons. And we can see further back now, I think that is Clasper dropping down to P9 behind Lewis and behind Stitchbury. Stitchbury side by side with Lewis for P7. And Lewis gets ahead of Stitchbury and gets himself into P7. We can see as well Maxwell looking to close in on the rear of Gibbons to get himself into P2 there. That gap very close as they head in towards that hairpin, and Stitchbury yet again looking to make some move. I believe he got into contact somewhere, as we can see. Lock-ups, contact, people going wide. Everything's happening here in the first couple of minutes of heat number 3. And Parfitt still leads ahead of Gibbons, ahead of Maxwell in third, and Palmer looking to get his way through as well as that. It'll be a move for Maxwell into P2.
Yeah, Gibbo's not going to fight that. And if I was Edward, I wouldn't fight it. I would allow it and go, whee, says Kev. It's always fun going off to the inside of the track off the straight. It would be, Kev, if it was after the race. I don't think right at the start is probably the best idea for these guys to go off. We can have another look real time. You can see what this looked like here. As these guys, Keon Palmer comes over, Sam Van Olst, everybody off. Ooh. They're all up into the jump and straight back to the pits. So, that, in a weird way, was quite comical to watch. Stuart Gibbons again missed his braking point down into turn 1.
Well, it's hard to think, has he got an issue with the brake? Because that was weird, wasn't it? It broke way too late in turn 1, and it looks like it didn't even stop.
I'm not quite sure how Sam Van Olst and Dylan DaCosta are saying that they're in P1 here.
This is an odd scenario, is it? Because it's meant to be Parfitt who leads, not DaCosta and Van Olst, who was a little bit far behind. But, well, here we go.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the track where they've gone off has reset them. And at the moment, it's got them 2.8 laps here, where these guys are on 2.7. So at the moment, somehow Sam Van Olst, Dylan DaCosta has shot to the front. And I'm not quite sure.
Oh, no, they dropped back down now.
Oh, there we go. Now they're back, back again. I don't know what the blinking hell was going on there. So there we go. Now Parfitt goes straight on the defensive. He's going to hug the inside line. Got Luke Maxwell on the outside. Luke's coming over. He's trying to give him a little bit of a squeeze. Me, personally, I would let him go. But my son's a little bit more determined than I am. I would just be like, meh, have it. I'll settle here in second. He's tightened it up once more. Maxwell's going to get the run, I think, out of turn 1. Contact. Edward moves away. That gives Maxwell the inside line. That should give him wagon. It does. Now, for me, if I was Edward, just follow him. Don't fight him.
Yep.
Follow him and trying to escape. That would be the best course of action for him, I think. That's what I would do.
And he went to send it, but backed up at the last point. I think he knew that he was not going to be on as they went down into the hairpin, and we can see that battle behind as well. Between Palmer, Taylor, and Jure. P3, 4, and 5, and earlier on that was down in for about I think P8, 9, and 10. So they've also shot up the grid here. So far as we can see, Palmer in 3rd place, and Crowther looking to try and get himself into 3rd as well. Obviously, he's had a decent job here tonight, hasn't he, Crowther? But I don't think he's found himself on the podium yet, even though he's been in that position to go for it many, many times.
Yeah, Dylan DaCosta has had another moment here. Come out of the pits. He's been up to Costa. Oh, hasn't had an incident then on that one.
He broke late. Maybe.
No, don't know on that one. I think the time assistant software's having a little bit of a moment. He is still running. Dan Van Olst is still running. Stitchbury got Clasper alongside of him, having a little bit of a door bang. So Clasper and Stitchbury there. Stitchbury first out in the Clios, and he's trying to get used to the cars, he said, as he's continue to fight. Be careful on that inside. You will end up on the gravel if Clasper washes out a little bit. He didn't. Clasper kept it tight. Palmer was out there as well with Ludovic Jure. Crowther's now in 2nd, 2.5 seconds back from Edward, who's a second back from Maxwell, but that does still leave Gibbons, Clasper and Stitchbury having a little bit of a ding-dong.
Yeah, looking to make moves here as Clasper looking to close in here to the back of Stitchbury. That gap there just under 0.2 of a second as they head their way through in towards the S's section there. You can see that gap ever so increasing now as they head their way down towards the paddock bend once more. 6 minutes gone in this race, and we've got 14 to go here for the final heat around the Summit Point Raceway. And so far, James, this has been a brilliant race. It's going to take a lot of work for another race to top this one off, because so far this has been probably one of my favourite races on iRacing in total, or one of my favourite what would it be, selection of races on iRacing.
Yeah, I think the start gave a little bit of an interesting one. To be honest, it was like a Benny Hill moment as all 4 of them just shot off, and then Dylan DaCosta went off not long after. So yeah, that's an interesting one.
It's like a Top Gear moment, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it's a something moment. I'm not quite sure what form of moment, but it was definitely an interesting one as they went down into turn 1. Well, they didn't even make turn 1. They just over the wall. So I'm not quite sure on that one, but yeah, these guys continually fight it out, coming into that 30-minute remaining work. Ludovic Jure with Wayne Palmer. You got David Clasper, who's got not Sam Van Olst, it's Stuart Gibbons now. Gibbons has cleared Clasper, and now he's going to be on the defensive. Edwards losing time to Maxwell, but that was kind of expected. 1.4 second back. He's still got a 2-second gap to Deck, so if he can hold on for a little bit, could be on for a second overall if he can hold on for the next 12 minutes.
But then again, you know, what was it in the first race? The gap was 8 seconds. This time it's 1.5. So Parfitt's keeping up quite well with the rear of Luke Maxwell, as we can see as well. That gap to Crowther is also increasing now to 2.1 as they head down towards that first quarter. Palmer on the back of Jure and Clasper looking to close back in once again on the rear of Stuart Gibbons for P8 in this race. And Clasper, I'm surprised he's so far down. I would have expected to see him a little bit higher by the time he got through in this race at this point and went for a move, had to back out, couldn't quite make it into turn 1 and actually lose his time doing so. Yeah,
not quite on the pace for round 3 for David there. Ludovic Jure not putting Crowther under pressure. Crowther's now 2.3 back to Edward. Crowther 120.57, Edward 120.68. And then you got Maxwell on a 120.07. Can he really tonight?
Yeah. No one's stocked enough there at all. His pace has been absolutely phenomenal so far in this event, like it was back in round 1. Round 2, obviously, I wasn't here, so I didn't see what happened, and I don't think Maxwell actually attended that one. But yeah, so far, he is by far one of the quickest here in this race. And it seems, whenever I find a fast driver, they've always got the name Max somewhere in it.
No, Luke was off at a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, yeah, fair. Well, fair play to him, I suppose. I'm not a Swiftie, but I
He-
suppose it's better than doing this and saves in the pressure and the pain.
Yeah, he'll tell you it was something else. He'll tell you it was a different, if it was a different band. But you know, us people that know, it was. I think between me and John McHutchinson, we ended up saying that he went to a Taylor Swift concert. So, but I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Taylor Swift, but we've just given him a little bit.
It might be. You never know. I don't think she has had any concerts recently, but you never know.
No, it was someone. I can't remember who it was, to be honest, but it wasn't Taylor Swift. But just wound him up. So there we go, Luke Maxwell. But he's doing a stellar job out in front at the moment. Edwards holding that 2.2, 2.3 gap. However, he has just made a mistake because Crowther has closed right in. That 2.3 seconds he did have has gone out the window. And unfortunately for Edward, he has gone back and made a mistake. Let's have a look what he did. Coming down into the hairpin. There is Luke. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Just got it all wrong.
Luckily, it doesn't spin it, though, because if you go into that gravel there, it's very easy to then make the car go sideways and go round completely. So, decent save from Parfitt, and we can see further back as well, Wayne Palmer now on the rear of Ludovic Jouret, trying to get himself up into P4 here, pulls to the inside, pulls back behind as they head down into the braking zone, and also we can see Stitchbury on the rear of Dan Lewis as they head their way into turn one. Still on board here with Wayne Palmer, looking to try and find a move, and Jouret makes a mistake, and Wayne closes in quite well as they head their way down now in towards the next few corners into Wagon Bend, looking to try and find a move there. Can't really stick it up the inside, can Wayne, so we'll have to go for it down in towards that hairpin, or maybe down towards turn one once more.
Palmer trying to get through there as well. Rob's in YouTube chat, but the woods wasn't part of the track. Well, no, but either of you, mate. 4 of you went off. 3 of you went off at the beginning, and Dylan DaCosta went on off after. You've all tried to see if the woods... However, it did look quite amusing. I've got to be honest.
Is it Carver for giving us the rolling start? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You gave yourself the rolling start there, Mr. Williams, so we're blaming you. Crowther is now caught up on Edward. Edward made that one mistake that's probably put him all in a little bit of a panic. Now he's going to go and overdrive the car, and he's gone from extending the gap to Deck Crowther to being caught here with 8 minutes to go.
Yep, it's like, what would it be, a fox chasing a cat, isn't it, between these two now as they head their way into turn one, and you can see Edward, I've been in the position myself, you get scared, you're like, oh no, I'm being caught up, and you push too hard, and then you make even more mistakes. So Edward, all he's got to do now is think, right, earlier on I was quicker than Deck Crowther, I was 2 seconds ahead, so you know you're quicker, just don't make mistakes and don't fight him too hard. You can see there as well, Crowther looking to gain him, obviously Parfitt's going to give him the outside line as heading towards Wagon Bend, and still no way through for Deck Crowther. He'll have to go for it possibly. It's a little bit of a mistake there. Maybe now can make it in towards a hairpin to get himself into P2.
Yeah, Edward's a tough fire. He's got Crowther tucked up though. Deck's not a rollover either. These two could end up having a right little ding dong. I've just received a video, the onboard of Kean Palmer. He said he tried to save the car from the Ludovic contact the whole time, but it just looks like I took everyone out.
Wow.
And he sent me in his onboard. He was trying to turn the opposite way, but Deck Crowther is now going to go. Edwards on defense. He's made the move. Sent Crowther to the outside. Steady. All day.
Oh!
All day. There is no way, son, you come over on someone and expect to give them room. He was alongside. That'll be on you, boyo. That will be on you.
Yeah. It is the curse, isn't it, being on pole? Twice now it's happened.
Yeah, it's got to be,
so
but that was on him, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was. He turned over. There was a little bit of net curve you could see, but it would have made it either way because there was very, very close. But now we can see the battle for third is Jouret and Palmer now. As I say earlier on, we're down in what, P7, P8? So, yeah, carnage has happened, and they've parted the waves to make their way now into fighting for a podium. And also, Dan Lewis is there as well. And Clasper, maybe he's made contact with Stitchbury somewhere because they have dropped quite far back from the rear of Dan Lewis, nearly 4.5 seconds to be exact, as they also follow their way down to the hairpin. And Van Alst there fighting with Da Costa for P10. So even though they was flew into a wall at turn 1, on the way to turn 1, they're now fighting for P10 here.
Yeah, this might be what happened. That's Clasper. I'm not quite sure where Gibbons goes off not long after. I'm wondering if there was contact in the hairpin. Because there is one of them going off not long after that. I think they both end up going off. Yeah. Both of them gone wide. There's Clasper's gone. There's Gibbo's gone. So both of them go wide. This is where Stitchbury went. So he goes off on the gravel, which is normal. Then goes off again. There.
Oh,
that could explain.
Way too deep.
Yeah, that could explain why he's so far back from Dan Lewis.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there, wasn't it, from Stitchbury? Way too late on the brakes in towards turn number 1. And we've seen that quite commonly, haven't we, James, throughout this race so far. So, yeah, that turn 1 seeming to be a pain, especially when there's low grip on the track and you got heated up tyres. It's always hard to try and get yourself into a comfortable position in towards those braking zones. And we can see that Wayne Palmer now on the rear of Jure once more as they head their way down in towards the hairpin, and that's close to contact. And luckily, Jure doesn't go around. That was inches to contact there, surely, James.
Yeah, must be there. Ludovic Jure just managed to hold on into the last 4 minutes we go. Maxwell's looking definitively out in front and is leading the way, but Wayne Palmer, Ludovic Jure here battling out and continuing to fight once more. Stitchbury's in there again with Clasper. So these guys continually to go. That is what, got 3 minutes to go, 3.5 minutes remaining.
Yep. Indeed, and that means we'll have, 2, maybe 3 laps left in this race. And, well, Maxwell, yet again, leads by over 7 seconds at this point to Deck Crowther. And we can see here, Stitchbury to the outside of Clasper, looking to get his way into P6. He goes round the outside, the long way around here for Stitchbury, nearly into the gravel for a second, and still can't find his way past Clasper. But Clasper is in the racing room now. To the inside goes Stitchbury, look close to contact into turn 2, and Clasper, that's going to be tight, isn't it, in towards Wagon Bend, and somehow they both make it through side by side.
Yeah, you and Stitchbury, David Clasper, doing a great little job fighting it out as well. 3 minutes to go. Oh, Stitchbury just misses Clasper there. Ludovic Jure's got Wayne Palmer for company as they go round the carousel. He's going to go left, then he's going to go right, and he's continually fighting it out here. Wayne Palmer having a good old go here, Dave. I don't think it's going to be long. I hope he wants to have a go.
Yeah, he's looking for it, isn't he? But he just can't find the move. And maybe as well, Palmer might think, right, we've got 2-ish laps left to go. There's no point fighting for it if we come to contact. I might as well take an easy P4, because to be fair, Palmer's not been on the ultimate pace, has he, today so far? So maybe he'll settle for a P4 here in this race. It's like, it's about 28, 29 points, isn't it, for P4 or something in this race? So it's not going to be the worst position in the world for him.
Yeah, it's not. I think you've just got to be mindful that the gaps in points now is massive. That's the thing with the Clios. 50 for the win, 42, 36, all the way down. Costa's in 10th. He's only going to get 18 points. That's 32 behind Maxwell. That's just kind of cancelled everything out he did in race 2, unfortunately for him. So, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one for Da Costa to swallow, but it is still... There is still some points as Parfitt and Stitchbury have come back together.
Yeah, and that's for P8 and P9. So even though Parfitt had that contact, he's still now in that position. So still a few points he can chuck in the bag for himself, and to help him in that championship is 16th, isn't he, at the moment? So he will move his way up a little bit ahead of others that had mistakes or haven't been here. So It could have been better, but it's definitely not the worst result here for Parfitt. As yet again, we can see Wayne Palmer here, right on the back of Giray. That gap there, just over 2/10 of a second as they head their way down to turn one. Can we see a move for third place here from Wayne Palmer closing in there? The gap less than 2/10, less than a tenth here to the inside. Giray defends. Wayne has to go to the outside into turn one. Can he make the move work? I don't think he can, because Giray puts it in the middle of the track and defends heavily.
Yeah, Giray there for the final lap. Final lap of the race. Maxwell is all the way going up round into the chute. There is, that's one of the Deck Crowther in the Blade Designs. Deck sitting in second. This is the battle for third. Wayne's got really one more bite at the cherry, if possible, I think, for Wayne Palmer coming down into the hairpin, maybe.
He might send it, mightn't he? No, he can't. He has to... Well, he tries to, he goes deep, doesn't he? He goes very deep on the back, and that allows Lewis to close it. So now, I think Palmer's main thing is just to stick behind the back of Giray and hope Giray makes a mistake in this final part of the circuit, because if he makes a mistake again, it could allow Dan Lewis to go through.
Well, really all or nothing, I think. This is the moment, but Luke Maxwell's going to come over the line. He's going to take that victory in race number 3. Luke is your winner. 2 out of 3 for him. Deck Crowther here coming over the line in second place. So Deck doing a great job, and Ludovic Giray does hold on to third for them as we wait for everybody else. What's happening back here with Parfitt and Stitch? It looks like Stitchery's got the rub, and he has been run. Oh no!
Oh, he's let him through. For the contact.
I think. Yeah, I think he's let him through for the contact in earlier on. Dylan DaCosta all the way round with Sam Van Olst. In the background. We'll just wait for them to finish. But another interesting one as well.
Yep, indeed. And well, Luke Maxwell, as what was it? Meatloaf once said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So he's done a decent job, hasn't he? As Van Olst will come through and take 11th. DaCosta will take 10th, and maybe Stitchbury doesn't want the force of James Parfitt after him as he made contact with his son. And was it the second time those two made contact?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh dear me! Well, Stitchbury will be caring in the corner, won't he? He's hoping, no, I don't want a penalty. I don't want a penalty. As Van Ol's taking a different way to finish the race, and he'll be taking it on the grass. And I didn't realise the Clios could be turned into lawnmowers, but here we are.
Clearly not. Sam Van Olst is doing what he did. So there we go. Let's pick up the results for race number 3. Yeah, my fault, says Rob. We know. Luke Maxwell is your winner with Deck Crowther in second, Ludovic Giray in third, Wayne Palmer in fourth, Dan Lewis fifth, David Clasper in 6th with Stu Gibbons, Edward Parfitt, Ewan Stitchbury, Dylan DaCosta, Sam Van Olst, Rob Williams, Kian Palmer, and of course Chris Barnes, who did not start there on that one. We'll go to drivers a couple of minutes, see if anybody wants to come in for a chat. But an interesting three races again here.
Yeah, indeed. I think it was brilliant. Obviously, we had the first round, which was brilliant. Obviously, I missed the second, but the third, yet again, was absolutely amazing. And of course, with many races left to go in this championship, this could be a very, very close fight all the way to the end with the likes of Van Olst, DaCosta, Giray, and obviously Maxwell being maybe our top 4 here. I think will go all the way to the end with their consistency in and around that top 5. And well, for Maxwell, his consistency to be first.
Yeah.
I think that's what Maxwell's 4th victory in 3 rounds. Well, what's it? 9 races, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. And I think from these guys, it's always going to be tough when you've got the likes of Maxwell, when you've got the likes of DaCosta, when you've got the likes of Crowther all in here. You know, as I say, on the day, any one of these can win the race. And the man that took 2 of them this evening is Mr. Luke Maxwell. Luke, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Yeah, good. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was nice. Good racing. You've recovered from your Swifty concert?
Yes, my Kid Capici concert was very good. You call it Taylor Swift, but yeah, I know the truth.
Yeah, that was just John McGutchison and myself, and I'm a little bit about it.
Yeah.
How was it out there, mate? A bit of a short field, but again, the action was plenty.
Probably a good job, to be fair, because it's so hard trying to get through the field. Apologies to Sam for race 2. I think I kind of put my nose in a bit. Thought he might leave some space, but it was probably a bit of a late move, to be fair. So yeah, apologies to Sam for the bump. I don't think it cost him too much, but I sort of carried on thinking, well, we'll see. Look at that one after. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely tough. Got a few bumps and scrapes in race 2 for sure. But I got so lucky in race 3 at the start there, where the chaos ensued, and it's like I felt like Moses for a minute.
Overall, right, you're doing good. You're getting points. It kind of offset each other, race 2 and race 3, because obviously you took the win. Dylan was down in 10th. So a massive points difference from all of you. That point system this season going to make a massive difference with the points drop between that 1st and 10th.
Yeah, I think I'm going to miss another week, unfortunately. I'm away end of April. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. I've just got to try and do my best, haven't I? See if I can win as many races as I can and not rack up too many penalties. But we'll see after that. Well, apologies to Dylan as well. I bumped him race 2. I just lost the rear. Got into the left-hander down the hill there, so yeah, I don't think it cost him too much, but yeah, apologies for that as well. Had a bit of a messy race too.
Yeah, you did. It was a bit scrappy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, your best passing opportunities on the straight, obviously, but it's so hard when you're right behind someone to pick the right braking time. I think I was carrying good speed through there in practice and when I was in clear air, but when you can't see your markers very well, it's very hard to get the just enough brakes and rotation to carry the speed. I kind of got the hang of it towards the end of the race, but yeah, it was definitely tough race 2 because people are going on the brakes at different times, and it's really hard to try and judge it without bumping people and so on. So no, definitely good fun. Though I think I made a nice move around somebody down the hill where I punted Dylan around the outside of the left hand. I'm not sure who it was, but. That was nice. So there was some good moves, but also some bad ones. Yeah,
there was, but that's just Clio racing, I think. When we've seen.
I think it is, to be fair. Yeah.
You're getting used to the whole bumping now.
Certainly am.
Good. That's all that matters. Luke, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Give a shout to John. He's out on his bowls tonight, so hopefully he's winning.
Good luck, Mr. McHutchinson, as well. But Luke, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy. Look forward to seeing how you get on as the season goes on.
Yeah, cheers, guys. See you later.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Well, there you go, bud. A happy Luke Maxwell. Seems quite happy. I think he's the only one going to jump in and have a chat with us this evening there as well. So overall, Dave, sum it up for us.
Yeah, it was a brilliant race, wasn't it? The first race, not as much chaos as race 2. Race 2 was just battling. Then race 3 was a little bit of crashing, a little bit of chaos, but a little bit of battling at the end. I think that was a very, very good race. Very good evening indeed, James.
I think it definitely was there. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Nathan Richards for this one. And as always, from us up here in the JPB booth, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.